Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking silencers. So specifically 3D printed silencers. So I've got my CP2 and my barrel that I've got on here has been modified to have a 1/2 inch thread in front so that it can take a standard silencer. About a year or so ago, I bought myself this silencer from a guy that makes them here in South Africa. And this is very effective for the CP2, but this is made of aluminium. It's not very expensive, but it is definitely costly. There is, however, an alternative option, and you've seen on my CP1 I've got a 3D printed silencer, and that's what I've got here today. So I've got a whole array of 3D printed silencers, and all of these come from none other than Mr. Corrie, who's the same guy that made the NSC scope cam for us. So today we're going to have a little bit of a look at the different silencers, and yes, it is difficult to show in reality. We've got a dB meter, we're going to show the readings from the dB meter, but at the same time it's difficult to show in reality what is the actual difference in sound as well. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking a shot with each and every one of these, and then I'm going to play them one after the other with the same volume on my video, and then you'll be able to see in reality what is the difference. Even though the dB measurements that you're going to see, yes, there is a difference in the dB measurements, but you're going to be able to see it shot for shot what is the difference in the sound. So let's get cracking. Alright, so before we get to actually shooting these silencers, I just want to take you through a little bit of a close-up on these silencers. And things you need to look out for. Alright, so this is a normal bought silencer. This is one that's made by a gentleman by the name of Chris, and this I've bought myself. What we're looking at today is 3D printed silencers. So one of the big advantage of 3D printed silencers, they are a lot cheaper, and you can easily make a lot of different configurations, because it's not like this silencer that you need to go and make baffles. You need to machine a thread in the end here. You need to machine end caps to go on the end of the silencer. So there's a lot more work into making a silencer like this versus 3D printing a silencer like these. So they're a lot more versatile. They are a lot lighter in weight. So if you're looking for something that's compact, easy to carry around, definitely 3D silencers may very well be your go-to option. The next thing that really is a nice thing about 3D silencers is they are cheap. They are much cheaper to make than a standard silencer. If you're looking for a normal off-the-shelf silencer, you're going to be very lucky if you pay under 1,000 Rand for a silencer. Whereas for a 3D printed silencer, I can guarantee you will get it a lot cheaper than a normal made silencer. So definitely we can see there's some advantages. What we're going to be reviewing today, we've got 4 silencers here. So we've got this one, which I'm going to be calling the little red or small red. Then we've got our medium. Then we've got this one here called the tubby. I'm calling it the tubby. And then we've got the big boy, which is this one over here. So what makes silencers effective, apart from the baffles and stuff inside or the material that's used inside, what makes them most effective is the volume. So the bigger the volume, the more effect it will have, the quieter it will make the gun. And yes, we're going to do measurements, and I'm going to show you the difference in the actual sound, because sometimes we see the difference in the dB readings, but we don't always hear the difference in reality. So I'm going to show you that as well. But another thing you need to look out for with silencers is these threads on the inside. So because it is printed, it is only plastic, so these threads can easily become damaged. So that's something you need to look out for with your silencers. If you're going to buy a 3D printed silencer, put it on your gun, make sure that you are not getting any clipping, because the moment you get clipping, it's going to affect accuracy. So that's something you really need to look out for when it comes to 3D printing. That threads can easily get damaged. Put it on, make sure you're not getting clipping, and then you're good to go. Alright, so if you look at CO2, definitely with a shorter barrel, many CO2 guns have got a proper bark, probably not as big a bark as some of the very high powered PCPs, but if you take a PCP that's shooting the same speed as CO2, I can almost guarantee you CO2 is going to be louder than that PCP. Don't know why it is, but CO2 is just much harder to control the volume of the gas that's coming out. So it is what it is. CO2 has got a nice bark to it. So let me show you the different dimensions of these. So we've got going from, let's put it this way, going from small red like this. So it's a little bit of a longer silencer, but probably got about a 30mm diameter. So that's the smallest of the lot. Then we go to our next one. Look at that, that's pretty cool. Also like the holes at the back. And this I'm going to be calling the medium. So this has got around about a 35mm OD, and the length is very similar to this. So let's say it's close to 150mm length. Then we've got what I'm calling the tubby, and as you can see there, it's got some extra holes in the front there, and it's got this that looks like a carbon fiber on the outside, and this has got an outside diameter of, say, close to 45, 50, but it is a little bit shorter, so about 100mm in length. And then the last one, and this is actually my favorite out of the lot. So in terms of weight, this one is actually a lighter weight than this one here. So, and this is made of aluminium, this is 3D printed. So that just gives you an estimate in terms of weight. This one is probably around about a little bit longer than 150, I'd say about 180 long, and it has about 40 to 45mm OD on this one. All of these are threaded with 1/2 inch. You can get different threads obviously as well. So yeah, that's it. That's what I've got. These silencers are definitely very effective, as you're going to see when we shoot, but I just wanted to show you a close-up of these silencers as well. So let's get to the business end of this deal. First and foremost, we're going to go without a silencer, and anyone that's got a CP2 or a CP1 knows that without a silencer it has a nice bark. So here we go. Alright, so that's without any silencer. Next up, I'm going to put on my store-bought silencer. So one thing you do need to be careful of with the 3D printed silencers is the thread here in the back, because the threads can be very soft and you can easily damage them. So you just need to keep that in mind. Alright, so this is the bought silencer. You'll definitely hear the difference. Massive difference, but also a difference in point of impact down there. Alright, so there is one of these silencers that has a similar decibel reading to this one. I'm going to show you that, but let's start from the smallest to the largest. As mentioned, you need to be careful with the threads on these silencers because they do strip fairly easily. So, but these are well made silencers, so you should be good to go. Alright, so let's start with what I'm calling the small red. Alright, so definitely a little bit louder than the bought one, but still much quieter than without a silencer. And one thing I can tell you as well, each and every silencer has got a different point of impact down the bottom there. So this is probably my second favorite out of the bunch that Corrie has given me. So he's asked me to review these, and definitely what I can tell you, the quality on these are excellent. So if you're here in South Africa, definitely reach out to Corrie. These are going to be at a budget price, but it's going to be well worth your money. Alright, so this is what I'm going to call the medium silencer. So definitely more effective than the red one, but not the most effective out of these 3D printed silencers, but definitely still a lot quieter than without a silencer. So for reference, before I shoot the last two, I'm just going to shoot one again without a silencer, just so that you can hear the crack. Definitely has a proper crack. Alright, let's take the next one. So this one I'm calling Tubby because it's fairly short but nice and stocky, so it has a fair amount of volume that it can consume, that it can take up. So one thing that I can also tell you, so all of these 3D printed silencers that I received now from Corrie, these are made to take a little bit bigger caliber, so 0.22 and up. So if you look in the front here, you'll see it actually has quite a big hole there. So the moment you reduce that that hole even more to be caliber specific, it will be even quieter. So alright, so you heard the crack now. Now I'm gonna take a shot with this one. That's pretty quiet, I must be honest. It's pretty quiet. Let's have a look at the last one now. So a lot of guys come from the proper firearm world into the air rifle world, and 3D printed silencers do not play a role. You cannot use it on a proper firearm, it just cannot handle the temperatures, so you cannot use it there. But when you get to air gun world, all you need to be able to do is to handle the pressure of the air. So definitely here 3D printed silencers work great. Nice and quiet, eh? So this is definitely my favorite out of these 3D printed silencers. Alright, so what can we conclude? Definitely 3D printed silencers, especially in the air gun world, have their place, and these ones from Corrie are absolutely fantastic. They do their job perfectly and I love it. I'm actually shooting bench rest this weekend. I'm thinking I'm probably going to use this one, which I'm going to be calling Corrie's Big Boy, and I love this little silencer. Well, compared to some silencers, it's a little bit big, but it's definitely not huge compared to some of the silencers that's out there. So I'm going to be using this guy for the weekend when I shoot my bench rest. But definitely I'm going to leave Corrie's details down below. Reach out to him. I'm sure you're going to love his silencers. So next time, happy shooting. See you around.